Hi, I'm Shannon McGee, franchise owner with Network in Action and our National Network Connect group. And today I have Jon Farris with Outpost Plus. How are you, Jon?
I'm doing great. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me today.
Yep.
So, I'm really fascinated by what you guys do. It feels very unique in the marketplace. Tell me a little bit more and help me understand a bit about Outpost Plus.
Yeah. So Outpost, historically, we've been more of a consulting firm where we've consulted with some of the biggest telecommunication companies that are in the country, and we've also done projects all over the world. We've done some things in Africa and Europe, and we're currently looking at a project in Brazil and Greece. So we historically have provided this consulting service, and we solve problems. That's what we're known for. And just recently, over the last year, we decided to open up new verticals and work with just regular entrepreneurs and businessmen and investors and real estate developers on helping them have another revenue stream by helping them build their own ISP or internet service provider company. And we provide that service for businessmen and people like that.
So, for example, if I'm hearing you right, that would mean maybe there's a real estate developer and they're building a building and they know they need to bring service to the building. And rather than, going with this big national company or whatever, you can help them set up their own. And so then they can get the revenue stream from all the tenants in the building. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So we actually would go in there and we would partner with them, and they're going to spend the money to put the infrastructure and the equipment in, for the most part, in their buildings or in like a residential development. And so instead of all of the revenue or most of the revenue going back to the bigger company, we've actually flipped that, where to the point where we'll build it, we'll put get subscribers signed up, and we'll also manage it for
Oh,
them
that's nice.
to increase their revenue stream. So
Okay, the biggie is managing it for them, right? So they don't
yes.
have to be the experts and whatnot. And so how is that kind of partnership set up? I believe you said it's almost like a franchise model, which is really cool.
Yeah. So it's about as close to a franchise as you can get. I mean, the percentage is more that we take is more along the lines of what a franchise would charge, like 10%, of the net. And then the other percentage would go back to the developer or whoever, we work with property management companies as well. And so a lot of these developers have never thought about this. They've never thought, well, wow, I mean, especially commercial buildings or MDUs, when you look at the value of a building that's based off of their income that it generates, and all of a sudden now we're increasing the value because the revenue is attached. There's more revenue attached to how they value a commercial building.
I'm sure this is something a lot of people have not thought about, which makes it exciting. Do you have a favorite customer story or
Well,
client?
I have two actually. One is me. Like when I first jumped into this and started looking at it, I got approached by the back then was just the main owner, and he said, "Hey, do you know people that might be interested in doing this, and maybe you can come consult for us on a part-time basis?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll take a look at it." I didn't know anything about it, and I started looking back at it, and I went back to him and said, "Graham, I don't want to be a consultant here." I said, I want to be your partner. I want to be involved in this." I said, "What's the opportunity?" Because I realized that all these people that I know, including myself, could have access to this additional income stream, and not to mention the income stream, but the value of the networks, they grow over time as well. And then probably the second story is a good friend of mine. He's a chiropractor. Okay, so I went to breakfast with him. We were just chatting, and he's like, "Well, what are you doing now?" And I told him what I was doing, and I was asking for referrals because that's kind of how I roll, right? So I was asking for referrals, and he was like, "Well, I may want to do this." And so we're actually building him an ISP in Mesa, Arizona, and when he called me, he signed the contract, called me, he's put a deposit down, And he was so excited because he's like, I had never ever thought about this. He goes, John, this is the first of like, he goes, I plan on doing 4 or 5 of these and I'm going to retire. That's what he told me. He goes, I'm going to retire from being a chiropractor and just have these ISPs that bring this cash flow in. And so for me, that was when he was one of my first meetings, and that was a kind of a testament to what the direction that I was going. So I was pretty excited.
That's great. So entrepreneurs, investors, commercial development, real estate, it really opens up doors. It's super cool what you're doing, Jon. If someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
Probably the best way is via my cell phone, 801-722-9573. They can also email me if they'd like. It's jon@outpost.plus.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today, Jon. I really enjoyed learning more about what you do. And I think there's a lot of people that might just be curious and learning more.
Awesome. I looking forward to talking to them.